delighted to introduce everyone to the brilliant Justyna Maciag from Jagiellonian University in Poland, in conversation with me today to talk about her amazing chapter in our book, Hoshin Kanri in Higher Education. So welcome, Justyna. Really wonderful to see you. And you've been a really great part of this book. This is one of the chapters that you have contributed to, which is looking at the usefulness of selected goal theories in Hoshin Kanri with Marek Bydgoszcz. But what we're going to be focusing on today is this chapter, Hoshin Kanri as a strategic management tool in a University of Art, a case study of the Academy of Music in Bydgoszcz. And I really hope I pronounced that correctly. So really lovely to see you, Justyna. What do you love about your chapter?
Thank you, Tammy, very much for this invitation. And I really would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about this chapter. And what I love about this chapter is really very interesting question, because the chapter presents the results of the 3 years project, which was carried out at the Music University in Bydgoszcz. And Bydgoszcz is a big city in the center of Poland. And what I love about this chapter is that we presented the 2 perspectives of this change, the organizational one and also the cultural perspective. We had a very unique opportunity to observe the process of change from these 2 perspectives. It was a fascinating experience to see how people change their way of thinking, attitude, work culture, from anxiety to confidence, and how they started to communicate and to cooperate along the interfunctional processes. I think that giving them the chance to change something in the university was for some of them, because we know that there was some barriers and some people in a contrary to this process, but for some of them it was really very inspirational.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I think when we're talking about culture, music is so important, isn't it, in our culture?
Yes,
It's at the
yes, of
heart of
course.
loads of things that we do. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful case study. What would you say are the top 3 takeaways that people would get from your chapter?
I think that the most important takeaways would be number 1 is that Hoshin Kanri helps change the organizational culture, helps change the people in organization. I think it's really very important, and also engages the staff, including the administration staff and also academics, for the continuous improvement idea in a university, and increases of their role in building the success of the university. And number 2 is related to this, that Hoshin Kanri develops the system and process approach to the management, and it's linked to number 3. Number 3 is related to this, that Hoshin Kanri allows to broke down the strong silo structure in a university, which is really very typical structure for the university, especially in Poland.
Brilliant, thank you. So you might have noticed we've been joined by my cat. So,
Yes,
well, even cats need to know about Hoshin Kanri. I think it's really,
but
really
it's
helpful for them.
yes, it's a kind of self-promotion.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. So thanks, Justyna. I think it's been really, really wonderful working with you on this book. How do you think it will help leaders in higher education?
I think that in this chapter, leaders could find some recommendations how to start, what are the steps in this process. And I think that the leader should start from the evaluation of the readiness of the university to a such organizational and cultural change. And it's really very important because leader should create his or her own strategy for change. It's important. And I think that Hoshin Kanri refreshes the thinking about the university, its functions, structure, and processes. And implementing of Hoshin Kanri is a very creative process which produces a bunch of new ideas on how to change the university. We can call it as a breaking edge action. And Hoshin Kanri itself, it's a very useful tool to link strategy with the operational activities. And as I said on the beginning, leaders should create their own strategies, their own plan for change. And in this university, in this chapter, you can find the case study of the strategy, very typical, very characteristic strategy, because the chancellor of this university, who's also the co-writer of this chapter, who initiated this change, was on the one hand very consistent, consequent, and constant in this change. But on the other hand, he didn't force anybody to make this change. He invited people. His attitude was aimed to engage people in this process, convince them, and get them on board. And in my opinion, it's really very important to sustain the change and include the continuous improvement into the DNA of the university.
Wonderful. I think that's a perfect comment. We need to get CI into the DNA of universities.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Justyna. It's always brilliant to talk to you and catch up with you. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.
Thank you very much.